Today, we talked to Sunir Shah from AppBind and president of the Cloud Software Association, as well as Amanda Nielsen. She's the partner manager over at Formstack. And we're going to hear from Sunir how he built a really awesome workflow that powers a survey around the reorganization of an event. It's a full workflow using Formstack only. It powers the charts that get produced from the form, and it's a really awesome service that you can extend to your clients that may be reorganizing at this time, and then you may need a feedback survey for their team members or a feedback survey for their customers. It takes a few hours to set up, which are billable hours for you. And you can even run it on a weekly basis for them to keep some money flowing in and keep some relevant, valuable services going out to your customer base. So check it out. We'll give you an actionable playbook. And if you like this kind of stuff, community.partnerprograms.io. We'll see you there. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. So my name is Mandy Nielsen. I work on the partner team here at Formstack. Formstack is a productivity platform specializing in forms, obviously, for data collection, in addition to document automation, generation, and e-signature. I work with tons of agencies and consultancies to help them help their clients get more out of their CRMs. So most namely Salesforce and Zoho in combination with Formstack. So I'm excited to be addressing agencies today and kind of walking through ways where you can kind of provide support to your community and your customers during this weird time.
We are all part of the Cloud Software Association, and Sunir is the president and the founder, CEO of appbind.com. Check that out as well. But what he did with Formstack is just an awesome workflow, an awesome use case. Sunir, why don't you explain kind of the premise of the setup, and then we can go into a quick screen share.
Yeah, so the Cloud Software Association is a trade association of all the SaaS partnership people. That's why Amanda and Alex and I are all in it. And we have an annual conference called SaaS Connect, which is the SaaS Partnerships Conference. It was scheduled for April 15th, 16th in San Francisco. And as the news quickly deteriorated, I had to make a decision about whether to cancel or reschedule the conference. And I want to do that very quickly because I want to get ahead of the curve and answer that question. So as of the weekend of February 28th to March 1st, where news of the virus in the United States escalated very quickly, I had to put in an action plan. And then I needed to go out to the members to see where they were at. And I would say that one of the things that I was able to do because of the way we set ourselves up, the trade association, is be open with our members, potential attendees, sponsors, speakers about our decision-making process, and because we do it for them. And so I ended up using Formstack to survey the members and then communicate back to them as well.
Awesome. Yeah. And while you get that set up, I mean, the premise here and the important thing is, this service is something anybody can use. You can survey employees, you can survey your customers. You can just do a general survey out to the community if you'd like, but the UI and the way Formstack allows you to set it up is pretty intuitive, and you can do a lot of obviously data pushing and do some CRM activities afterwards. That Sunir didn't take it that far, but there's so many different things you can do with this. So as a marketing agency, I'm putting myself in the shoes of a lot of agencies out there that are seeing their budgets get pulled from them. So this is something where you can send out an email to your clients and say, hey, I can set this up for you pretty quickly. And it's just something that keeps you sort of relevant to your client base if you are offering a service that they may not need at this time as an agency in general. So this is something you can send them.
And I will say, I also have a graduate degree in social research. I've used a lot of survey tools in my time, and I continue sticking with Formstack because I'm a marketer now, and I need speed is how the internet works. Formstack is the only tool I found that allows me to rapidly put out a form, get results, and report on it in a timely fashion, in a way that so I can circle it in and out of my audience community. The other tools I find are much too cumbersome and slow. All right, so this is what I did. So I needed to quickly get on top of this situation with the members. We said we want to reschedule to September as my initial plan. This is after I immediately got on the call with the venue and found available dates to rebook in the fall. and I didn't know which one would be better. If they both have negatives that were obvious to us at the time, because they're both they're attached to the weekend, I didn't know whether Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday would be better. And I wasn't tracking conferences in September, so there might have been conflicts at the time. So I thought I'd put it out to the membership. Now, the first thing you'll notice is this is not a form. These are links. I have learned over time that if you want to get someone engaged in a survey, saying, please take my survey as a button is less valuable by probably 3 or 4 times than having the first question being something they can literally just click on or tap on their phone, which is probably how they're going to respond. So this is what I did is I created these links. And the great thing about Formstack is you can create these links that will answer the first question if it's like a radio button. So I'll just click on one of these. So if I click on that link, as you can see, it immediately fills in the radio button. And the way I do that is if you look in the Formstack when you do view, every field has a field number. And then I just set it equal to the text in the field. And I create the link that way. It's very easy. So if you are not afraid of inspector, I open up the inspector, you can get the field label, 8, whatever this field is. I just copy and pasted it and put it up here. And then equals this, and Formstack will automatically select it. And that's magical. By the way, another key thing that I did is I had a extra box here. Is there something we should know about? Do you notice that there's a new option here that wasn't in the newsletter? So I was also because I wanted to do rapid response, I had an open-ended field to see what else was going on. It turns out, because I am a schmuck, not only was SAS Connect originally scheduled at the end of Passover, but there's 2 dates in September for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And I clearly have really weak calendar skills. I should have known that, but I didn't know that. Oops. And I want to be a mensch. And so I moved the conference. I found new dates in October that were not Jewish holidays this time. And I will try not to do that again in 2021. But so I added this field rapidly to Formstack. And my goal is not to get feedback about what dates would work best. My goal was to confirm these dates were workable. So let me show you my overall form design. I didn't just have this which form am I on? I didn't have just this form. I had a couple other surveys. I also asked people what their travel plans were in general. So I wanted to know whether their travel schedule was going to change. I need to do this beforehand as well. So I ran a survey about whether they're going to cut travel. So I wanted to check in whether people are still going to come, whether they're going to other events, whether or not they were still traveling local and domestic, and whether or not they were being locked down by the company. And so with this form is a different form. With this form, I was able to quickly see an overview of where the membership were mentally. And this is that same weekend. I was rapidly surveying them. So it was the same weekend. I saw already the shift in people's thought process that basically half the attendees were still committed to go to all conferences. I was like, okay, no, thank you. But half of them were already starting to cancel, and 1/6 of them were definitely going to cancel. And if you look at overall the other conferences that people are attending, 1/3 were planning to attend all conferences, but a good 75% were starting to cancel or considering canceling events. At that point, I knew that the attendee sentiment was leaning towards canceling all events, but there was still a good 1/3 to half of our membership base that were basically in denial that this was happening. By this point, I had already decided that we were going to move the conference, but that's not good communication. You want to communicate empathetically to the people, because I'm asking them to make a change and accept the loss, what's going on, and trying to lead amongst the group as well. And this gave me a sense of where they were emotionally. And the great thing about Formstack is these charts are very quickly drawn and configured. And I needed to show this to my board on that Wednesday, that week. And so I gave them these pictures. It was I didn't have to do any work. Here it was done. And it's one less thing I had to think about.
Well, show me this real quick, Sunir, while you're in there. Can you export those charts, or how do you export them as, see, this is important for all you Airtable users out there. Airtable has blocks, but they do not allow you to export them as images. So you have to take screenshots of your charts in Airtable, which is a pain in my butt right now. Cool. So the setup is, well, the flow really is, okay, well, client, I've got this awesome new survey workflow. It takes me maybe a couple hours to set up and then maybe a couple hours to review and recap. And you can use it for employee engagement. You can use it for your customers. You can use it for anything. Throw them a couple of ideas in an email. And then when you go to set up, obviously this is what the back end looks like, but you'll have the email, you'll have the click through, you'll have the form, you'll have the output as pie charts or whatever charts you want. Give that back to the client in PNGs, whatever format they want, in a nice report, which then they send out to their employees or their team or whoever, and the workflow is complete. So yeah, I'll let you continue.
And this is the other survey I was showing about the dates. And I want to show this for one reason. It seems it's a little thing, but the speed to create one of these things was like 4 minutes. So I created a radio button group. I jumped in the dates. I put in an extra box, view live form. It was done. The only complexity was finding those URLs, which I showed you how to do. Use the inspector, get the field number, put equals, copy and paste the label, throw into the browser. It will compute. It will do all the percentage weird things to make the URL fine. I just threw in a MailChimp and I was done. I did not have time, but all these things are coming in. And I was trying to see things like Shop Talk was coming up here during one of the dates. It's like, okay, because Shop Talk is a big conference and they be scheduled over one of our dates. And then things like the Jewish holidays were coming in through my email. And I was able to call the venue very quickly because I could see the stuff. It's basically, I didn't have to think about any of this stuff. I'm showing it to you because it's part of the demo here, but I just took it for granted because this is how Formstack works.
I'm so glad that it was able to be kind of something to help you and not stress you out in this time where everything seems to be very stressful. So that's great to hear that it was really easy for you to put this together quickly.
A lot of people won't tell me that they're freaking out in public because we're partnership people. Some people will tell me they're freaking out, but I know a lot of people can't lose face that way. But this is anonymous and allows them to vent somewhere where I can collect what's going on in their world and then reflect that back to the community very quickly. And I'm just, of course, the main thing is it's coming in by email. So, I don't have time to set up my computer right now because I'm like at the playground half the time, but they're coming in by email. So I can check it, get the responses, and then react very quickly. And again, took like probably 8 minutes to put this together because I had decided, the hardest part was designing the HR questions to also level check whether people are being treated well by their employers. That took another like 4 minutes of thought. So, this is the value of Formstack for me, is speed and instant connection to the things that I need to report out on.
Yeah, the UI is just gorgeous. It looks super easy, drag and drop. Everything's very clear. So yeah. So if you have clients that you feel like would need this service, we're going to give you the play-by-play, a little step-by-step document of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, how to set it up. The important thing is obviously Amanda is on the partner teams. If you are an agency and you're looking to partner with Formstack and get some extra level of support, not just with obviously the service, but with growing your agency overall. And hopefully you use this and enjoy all the
all right, thank you. And get the flu shot. That's how I end every call now.
Awesome. Thanks, Sunir.
Take it.
Thanks, Alex.